Disclaimer. My opinions, views and information mentioned in the following video are based from what I've read on the internet and heard on the daily conferences. However, please remember that you can't trust everything you read on the internet or what the government says. Therefore, what I say could be wrong. I also apologise to any that take offence to what I say. I am just being honest and do not mean disrespect. Remember to spread kindness, not the virus, and support those that have been affected by this pandemic.
Good morning. So this video is being recorded near the end of the week 11 for the UK's lockdown. Or I say lockdown, but really it's, stay at home, lockdown, but go out, but go in, go home, stay at home, but go out, but stay at home, but you can go to the park, but you can't go to the park. It's a confusion lockdown. But today I thought I would sit down and interview someone to see how they thought about the lockdown. We've interviewed her at the start of this lockdown when we discussed her views on the virus, and I thought now let's just to see if any of those views have changed and just see how she's coping through the lockdown. So because of social distancing, you have to be 2 meters apart and everything, I haven't got her on the couch with me today. Instead we are doing this interview in separate rooms, so it's a bit weird, but we have to keep the social distancing. So we are interviewing today Vicky, so welcome back. Thank you for inviting me to this interview. It feels really weird, like you said, to be doing an interview while social distancing. I'm used to looking at you, talking to you that way around, so it's weird not having you in the room with me whilst I'm answering your questions. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, thank you for having me, and I hope you're well, and yeah, ask away. I'm ready to answer any questions you've got. I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking. So the very first question I've got for you is actually, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling about the whole virus thing? Like, just how have you been feeling? How am I feeling? Well, what do you mean, just like in general, or do you mean how I'm feeling about the whole situation? In general, I'm fine. I'm getting fed up now, like it says, week 11 is 11 weeks now. I think I'm fine. It's just fed up. So like, most days I'm okay, I'm happy and everything, I'm just getting on with it. But I am getting fed up with not really having my freedom. I think that's the main thing. And I'm just fed up with how the government and everyone is handling everything. I don't know, I feel like everyone's probably feeling the same. That everyone's probably just fed up being stuck at home and not knowing what's going on. Because that's one of the big issues, is that we don't really know what's going on. We get told one thing and then the next day it completely changes. And I'm just fed up with it all. But overall, I'm content, I'm happy. Most days I feel good. I'm getting on with the days. I'm actually enjoying the days being at home. And yeah, I'm just a bit fed up with it all and fed up with my freedom though. Like, I want to be able to, if I fancied going out for a coffee, I want to be able to go out for a coffee. But I can't. Or if I want to go to the zoo, I want to be able to do the zoo, but I can't. So that's why I'm fed up, and I'm just like fed up with I'm fed up with the situation, but at the same time I'm happy with the situation because it means I get to be at home and I love being at home. So it's kind of like 50-50. I'm fed up, but I'm also happy. That makes sense and answers the question. I doubt it answers your question, but it's really hard to explain really. I'm generally happy, I'm just fed up. So yeah. Okay, the next question for you, Vicky, is how do you feel about the lockdown and the government's actions? Do you think they've been handling this lockdown well, or have they done a terrible job? That's a hard one, and I feel like depending on what I say, some people might become a bit get annoyed about me because I might have the wrong thing to say. But then you have to remember that everyone has a right to have their own opinion, and there's no such thing as having, you can't really, it's your opinion, so it can't be right or wrong. So that's one thing I guess you have to remember. The lockdown itself, I don't really mind. I feel like it's gone on for a while. We got told it would be 3 weeks and 6 weeks and just going on and on and on. And they are starting to ease it now, which I'll talk about in a second. So overall, I think the lockdown's okay. I didn't actually leave the house for ages either. I've only just started going, I wouldn't even go food shopping. I've only just started going to food shopping probably in the past 2-3 weeks. And my thing is mainly because the area around me had no food, and it's still not really that great. We have to go further afield, to a 40-minute drive to get to the better shops where I actually have food, because the area around me, they're not really stocking up. And the people around here are really rude, and judgy, so that made me feel really insecure when I went out, and I felt really panicky in that. But I'm slowly getting better now. So the lockdown for me has literally just been actually full on lockdown in my house. But I know other people have actually done gone out to the shops and everything, and I think I haven't been handled very well. Which when it comes to the government part, where I think the government should have put the lockdown in earlier, and I think they need to give us more information and stop changing their minds. Like, I'm sure I heard that like most recently, I'm pretty sure what happened is that they said you could meet up with groups of 6, but obviously keep your social distancing, and now they've changed it, they've lowered the number, and a lot of people are getting in trouble because they're meeting group of 6 because they've changed it and not really told anyone. I don't know for sure because I've stopped listening to the news, to be fair, because I'm just that fed up with hearing it all and everything. And like, our government just, I don't know, I feel like the government aren't providing us with enough information, they're not handling it well. The most recent like palaver was where one of the guys, Cummings or whatever his name is, drove to his like family home, his parents' house from London, and we're not meant to be like, he broke the rules, and everyone's like, he broke the rules, but the Boris won't admit that he broke the rules. But even some of the other government are like, yeah, he broke the rules. And it's like, well, how come the government can do one thing but we have to do something different? And people want him to resign and all of that, and he won't. And I have to agree, I think he should resign because he did break the rules. If you go and by what the rules were to the public, and the government shouldn't have different rules to what we've got, because that's not fair. So that's a whole nother thing. It annoys me. I think it's stupid. I hope that something comes out of it, but it has made me lose my trust on Boris, because I started to like believe in him. I started thinking, yeah, it's got a bit of common sense there. I know he's just saying what everyone else is, like what he's being told to say, but I was like, oh, he's handling it alright. But now I'm just completely and utterly done with it. I'm like, you're not. You're fed up. You've ruined it. Also, I think they're doing it all really backwardsly. Like, the schools are going back, well, the schools went back on Monday, which was the 1st of June, but they've only got certain year groups, and the year groups they've picked, for instance, they've picked year 1. Well, year 1 is like 5-year-olds. A 5-year-old ain't going to understand to keep in their bubble. They're going to want to hug their friends. They haven't seen their friends in 3 months. They're going to want to hug their friends, and a lot of parents didn't agree with it, a lot of teachers didn't agree with it. And I just feel like they've done it backwardsly. I know from at least from my sister's school, her year, she's got 3 kids in her class have turned up. Everyone else won't send them because parents are like, well, I'm not going to send my kids if I still can't hug my grandparent. Like, they can't hug their grandparents. I'm not going to send one kid, but then the other kid's still got to be at home. How's that fair? And a lot of schools, at least in my area, are not big enough to do the 2 metre apart separation thing for it anyway. So I don't know. I think they shouldn't let schools go back. My sister has told me that the 3 kids that she has got turned up are doing well. It's very weird, and it's not really fair on her again, I think, or and like other teachers. I don't know if it's the same in all the schools, but for my sister's school, even if the kid they've gone back, so my sister's now got to work a full school day, but at the same time in the evening in her own time where she ain't being paid, she's then got to homeschool and send homework to the homeschool kids and mark their work as well if they do it. So she's doing extra work and not being paid for it or anything. And I think that's not right and wrong. And that's also another thing that annoys me. Everyone's always on about the key workers, so like the healthcare, the police, and all those kind of stuff, and shop workers, but they never mention the teachers as key workers, but the teachers have had to work through the whole time. The teachers haven't had a break. They've had to homeschool, and now they've gone back and having to homeschool and teach, and they're classed as key workers, but no one is recognising it, which really annoys me. So that bothers me. But I just, in general, I think the government are not giving us enough information, and they've just done it in a completely wrong thing. They're saying they're going to target this amount of tests a day, but they're like not even doing half sometimes. The deaths, I've heard a lot of rumours about as well. I know for a fact that we are the worst country now in the world, like in Europe, with the amount of deaths. Like, what, we're still hitting like 300 a day. And I get because our population is big, but at the same time, I'm like, what's going on? Like, clearly something's not right because we're having all these deaths. But at the same time, I've heard things, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard from different like sources, that not all the deaths from the death rate that they're saying is corona. So like, say I think we're up to like 39,000, nearly 40,000 now. Not all those deaths though would be actually COVID, from what I've heard. I've been hearing things that people are putting coronavirus or COVID-19 or whatever you want to call it on the death certificate without testing them, and it's just a case of, oh, they've died during this period of COVID-19, we're going to say it's COVID-19, suicide's going to be COVID-19, heart attack COVID-19, because that way they don't have to pay for like the test or something, like the post-mortem or something, or autopsy or whatever. I don't know how true it is, but this is just what I've heard. So without like, and they gain money or something, the hospitals and the areas gain money if it's COVID-19 for like better equipment or something. I don't know. I cannot say if it's true or not, it's just things that I've heard and read. Chances are it's probably false, but at the same time I'm like, I already do know the government have release out a figure that says with positive cases of COVID it's like 39 and without it's up to like 43,000. And I'm like, well, why are you putting it in a figure then to say when it's without, you haven't tested them? That makes me think a bit weird. But I just, in general, I need a drink, sorry. But in general, I think our government is just not handling it at all well. And it's like, what is it? Car rooms and markets and that are open from Monday, I think, and then from the 15th of June, shops and everything's open, like charity shops and that. But you can't touch things unless you're going to buy it. But I'm like, charity shops, you kind of have to rummage. Retail, clothes shops, you have to rummage to look, to find your clothing out, but you're not allowed to touch things. How do they expect people to buy stuff? And I just feel like, with the amount of deaths we're still apparently having each day, it's a bit early to open, say, like Primark. Because think about how packed and popular it is, and they're like, oh yeah, people, will be a queuing system. But I went to like B&M the other day and we had a queue. Weren't too bad, we went like 4 o'clock-ish, 5 o'clock by the time we got there. But it was still hot standing in the queue. Luckily it wasn't a long queue, but imagine like a queue for Primark and then standing in the heat. Like, are they going to provide people with drinks? Are they going to expect, like, are people going to have to remember to take drinks with them? Because you're going to get dehydrated and hot queuing in these stores to shop. Like, I think they shouldn't be opening the shops yet until they feel like they're more comfortable and things are less. Honestly, I think the whole thing is backwards. And I just don't think, I don't know. I think the government has I've lost complete faith in the government. I don't trust what they're saying. I don't trust what they're doing. And like, one thing I was reading about the other day as well that made me laugh. This is something the government actually said about face masks. It's that they don't protect you, but they protect others. Or something. But if the germs and that are coming through the mask to affect you, surely your germs would go out the mask and affect others. Like, it's just a bit of fabric, unless you've got the filter, it's just a bit of fabric, so surely it's going to go, if it comes one way, it's going to be able to go out the other way, surely. I don't know, that sort of stuff bothers me. And it's just little things, like I'm doing a course, and it mentioned a lot about viruses and bacteria, and it told you, like, in the course that I did, it said about how hand washing with normal soap doesn't kill, it doesn't kill, like fully kill bacteria or viruses or whatever, it just gets rid of the dirt. This is in my course that I'm doing. It's like the module was microbiology or something, and it was talking about that kind of stuff, and I was like, but then we're being told to wash our hands constantly. I get with hand gel because it's got like the bacterial killing and that. So do they mean like, so if I just use my normal bar of soap, is that actually going to kill the germs? Or does it just wash the layer off? I'm confused. I feel like the government need to give us more information to say, wash your hands, or stay alert. Like, our government is shite. I honestly am so disappointed in our government. I'm so disappointed in how they're handling all this. I don't know, I'm down talk. I'm just going to stop talking. The only good thing about them actually is that they're doing the furlough scheme where they were paying people's wages. But even now, from August, employees have to pay 50% or something, which I thought that was going to happen because our government can't afford to pay so many people's wages. Like, our government's broke, aren't they? Like, we're a country that's always in debt from what I understand. Like, I don't know, like, remember, I don't know much. I don't pay attention usually to the government or the news or anything. I'm just going by what I've read on the internet, and you know you can't really trust things on the internet, can you? So I could be completely wrong with all this that I'm saying, but this is just like what I've heard and what makes me doubt stuff and everything. But I'm going to shut up now because I said I probably told you a lot of information that isn't even true. So what is my next question? Interesting. I have heard that quite a few people now are losing faith in our government because of the whole Cummings incident, so that's quite interesting with what you've said. Our next question for you is, Has your opinion on the virus changed at all? Because at the start of the video you said you were starting to get scared about the virus and everything because it's starting to hit home because it's now in your like area or in your country. But has your opinion changed now at all about the virus? My opinion for the virus, has it changed? Yeah, because when last video I said I was scared. I'm not bothered by it anymore. I'm like, if you die, you die. Like, sorry people that have lost family, and it's devastating, I know, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I said at the start of the video, I'm fed up. I've got to the stage now where if you die, you die. It's going to happen in one day. You could walk out the road and cross road and get hit by a bus or a car and die. You could have a heart attack, die. You could have a stroke, die. You could be perfectly fine and then fall down a ditch and die. Like, death is going to happen to you at some point, whether it happens to you now or whether it happens to you 20, 30, 40 years later. It's going to happen, and it's one of those things. I got an itch now, I got cat hair. It's one of those things that I'm just like, it's going to happen, so I'm not scared about it anymore. If the virus comes at me and I get really ill and I die, so be it. I've got my trust sorted out, my sister knows what to do, the cat's sorted out, everything's sorted out. Yeah, my family will be upset, but I know they'd recover. Like, it's just one of those things. One day I'm gonna die, one day my sister's gonna die, one day my dad and my mum will die. Yeah, it'll be sad, but after a while you learn to move on. There's just the circle of life. Yeah, a virus, and yeah, it's a virus, and it's, oh my god, a big deal because loads of people are dying, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably gonna laugh hate now, but I think it's just because I'm fed up with it. I don't want people to die. I get excited when I see that the numbers have dropped each time. I still watch all the like things and everything, and I feel so sorry for the people that have like died and their families and everything. But from what I've heard, most of the cases that have died, they've had health problems anyway. There's not many people that, like, there's a small percentage of people that have died from the virus that were already healthy. At least that's from what I've read from statistics, from like articles. Again, I can't be sure, but because of what I've been reading, and some is from the government, like articles and the public health and everything, is saying this stuff. So from that information, it's made me think, oh, I'm done with it. I may get hate for this, I may not, but I'm done with it. And I said death is going to happen at some point. If it happens now or not, maybe it's just your time. Maybe you've got maybe there's a reason why these people have died. Maybe they're going to be reborn and do something great with their next life. Who knows? But like I said, it's something I've just accepted it, I think, and I feel like a lot of people are probably the same now, because a lot of people seem to be just slacking in the whole following the procedures, keeping the 2 meters distance and that, because I think everyone now is just a bit like, I'm done. And like I see a lot of comments on Facebook and like that where a lot of people are just like, well, what's the point? There's a virus, let's just get on with it now. We've done it for 11 weeks now, it's not going down, we're clear, it's going down but not by much, and then it peaks again. We're going to get another peak because of the fact that kids are going back to school and everything, and we're going shopping and that now. So we're going to get a peak again, it's going to happen all again. Are they going to put us in lockdown again for the second peak? Probably not, because they can't afford it. So like, I don't know, I feel sorry for the people that have lost loved ones. It's a horrible thing. I will hate it if my sister or mum and dad got ill and I lost them. It will devastate me, but at the same time, I'm one of those people. I've always been like one of those people that's just like, death is population control. I've been like that for everything. It's just how my brain is set. I can't help it. I care about people, I care about the population, but at the same time, I'm just like, death's gonna happen. Death freaks me out. The idea of dying freaks me out, so I don't know what's gonna happen at the end, but I'm just like, it's gonna happen. So I think I have changed a lot, but as I said, I'm sorry if I've offended people, but it's just my opinion. And as I said, for those that have lost someone, I am sorry that you've lost someone. It's devastating, I know, and hopefully soon something does happen and it gets better for you all. Okay, I hope the next question is a bit of a nicer question. Okay, that's interesting. Just to remind people that everyone's entitled to their own opinion. We're in a safe space here, which is why opinions are allowed. Any opinion is allowed. There's no such thing as a wrong opinion, because an opinion is a personal view. Okay, so the next question I've got is, did your plans change? Because at the start of the first video, you said that you were going to write down each day plans, what you were going to do, and then those were your targets for the day. So has that changed, or are you still writing down your plans? Like, how are you planning each day now? My plans. Oh yeah, I said I was going to plan, so each day I said that I was going to do a daily plan and write down loads of things that I was going to do for that day so I didn't get bored. Started off really well. I started off really busy, like super busy, and then it just went downhill. Past few weeks I literally just wrote exercise, yoga, and then one other thing, work, study. I give myself like 2 things to do each day now because I just can't be bothered. I'm like, I'm going to be here for a while. I can't be bothered to plan and do things, and I need to spread everything out, because if I do everything at once, I'm not going to have anything to do like next week or the week after. So I'm just like, 2 targets, that's it. I am alternating between exercising and that, so I don't know. I'm just like, if I give myself something little to do each day instead of doing loads, maybe it will improve. I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to be stuck here for a while. I can't run out of things to do, so I'm taking my time. Is what keeps you going? Like, what motivates you to get up in the morning? What keeps you sane, basically? So what's getting you up each morning? What is it getting you through the day? Because I think if it was me and I didn't have much to motivate me, I'd just be laying on the couch all day, not really doing anything. So what is it that's motivating you and gets you through the day? Things that keep me going, the sunshine for sure. If it was if it was raining every day for this lockdown, or most of the time for this lockdown, I would have suffered. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have got a tan. I can't really pull my dress to show you the difference, but I have got a tan because I'm spending between 3 to 5 hours outside each day when it is sunny. Like today it's not very sunny, so I will be indoors, but when it is sunny, when it's between 16 and 20 degrees and the sun is out, bikini comes on and I just lay outside. And by being able to do that, that really does help me calm me, because I'm one of those people that love the sun. I live for my holidays, and I can almost, like yesterday I was laying there with my book, and then I thought I'd shut my book and I closed my eyes and thought I'd have a nap, and if it weren't for like the lawnmower going and the workers outside, I could almost imagine that I was on holiday, because the heat, I had that heat smell, and then last night I had the like holiday heat smell when it's nice on the evening smell when you get out and you're on holiday. Like, I could have imagined I was on holiday, and that helps me calm down a lot. Being able to be in the sun helps me calm down a lot. Reading is also helping me. I'm getting through all my books, and that helps me because reading takes me into a different like zone. I'm no longer in this reality. I'm in the book story. I become a different character and everything, and that really helps me. My exercising's helping me. I used to never exercise. I was very lazy, but I do 3 times a week I do yoga, and 3 times a week I do an exercise video. It's usually a HIIT video, but I tried body combat out yesterday, and oh my god, my arm, actually yes, I did body combat, then HIIT, then abs, and my arm, this arm especially, is aching. But my target is I want to get abs and get a bit of muscle, so I've been exercising, trying to do that. So that really actually helps me because it gets me moving, it gets me feeling fit, it makes me feel good, and honestly I'm glad that I can keep it up and everything. Painting is definitely another thing that gets me going and helps me calm me down. If I am feeling a bit stressed, I'll just paint. If I want to relax, or I don't know, I think painting helps me relax. I think that's definitely one of the ones that's keeping me going. And then obviously my cat keeps me going, giving her attention because she's demanding. Really keeps me busy. Yeah. See, unfortunately, you mentioned about the sunshine. Unfortunately today it's very cloudy, it's meant to rain, and actually for the rest of the week it's going to be like that as well. So hopefully the sunshine comes back soon to help motivate you throughout the days again, because that'll be a bit worrying if you then get loads of rain now. My next question is, when are you returning to work? Have you heard anything about when you're returning to work? Do you know anything? Because people are starting to return to work. You've got teachers return, retail shops are opening soon. So people are beginning to return to work. Have you heard anything about you yourself? Do you know when you're returning to work? Work. I don't know when I'm going back to the pub. By the sounds of it, the government are saying like it'll be about July time maybe that the pubs will open, but they'd have to keep the social distancing, and because I work in quite a small pub, chances are they wouldn't be able to do that. They'd only be able to have like 4 customers at a time, which is a bit stupid. So I don't know when I'm returning to the pub. No idea when I'm returning to Rainbows. I think it's going to be at least September. We haven't heard anything. That makes me really sad and worried, because I'm only hearing from like 2-3 of my Rainbow parents throughout this lockdown, and I'm a bit panicked that I'm going to come back to Rainbows and not have any girls return. So I'm a bit worried about that. I feel like I might lose my Rainbows completely. And then my other work, my main work, well, I'm working from home, so it's not much difference. Returning wise, I think it's going to be August, September time possibly. But honestly, if they told me that they wanted me to work from home always, I'd be up for it. I love working from home. It's weird because I'm doing basically the only work that I'm not doing whilst I'm at home is answering my phones and purchasing and training, because we're not running yet. But I could do that when we do run. I could do training from home and organise it, and I can organise the purchasing from home. And I honestly, so I'm basically doing the same stuff, and working from home, I don't feel stressed. I feel so much calmer doing my work now at home than I do when I'm at work, and I'm doing the same stuff. Like, I don't get why the difference. Like, it's weird because I feel a lot calmer. So if they told me that I could stay and maybe do work from home but come in for meetings and training sessions and that, I'd be down for that, because I thought I'd miss everyone, and honestly I miss talking to them. There's a couple of the guys that I do miss, but in general I'm not fussed. Like, I never always want, like, I'm an admin. I never wanted to be an admin. That wasn't my goal or anything. And the more I've been away from in that, like, I've never really liked the environment. And I've said it a few times. I say it a lot to people that I don't like the environment I'm in. I feel very enclosed. And it was just funny because now I'm literally enclosed in my house. But I feel very enclosed, and I don't know, most times I don't look forward going to work. Excuse me, I'm recording a video. They're building a road outside my house. Like, they're finally giving me a road, and now they're being bloody noisy. But yeah, so I don't feel like I don't know how to explain it. I'm happy and not being at work. Like, I'm doing my figures, which I love. I'm doing my invoices, which I love doing. I love doing the aspect work. I'm doing the wages still. But it's nice that I'm doing it at home and there, if that makes sense. So if they said to me, we'll keep paying you what you are on, work at home and come in for meetings. So say I went in 2 days a week and then worked from home 2 days a week, and then just went in on meetings or whatever, I'd be perfectly happy with that. Just keep me on my pay. Don't reduce my pay. If my pay got reduced, I would suffer and I wouldn't be able to pay for my house and everything. So I guess it'll probably be September I go back to work. Yeah. I guess that's a good point though, with you saying about how you're working from home, because you're still working technically, so it probably won't feel much different when you do actually return to work. You'll probably just be, oh look, there's people around me instead. The final question is, have you got anything to add? Have I got anything else to say? I don't think so. I think I've talked a lot for this video. I feel like a lot of people might be angry with some of the things I've said. I don't know, I think I'd feel differently if more people took the government seriously, even if the government took things seriously, because I don't think they're taking things seriously. I don't know, I think everyone is probably ready to return and get back to normal. 11 weeks is a long time, 3 months. I think today is day 76 since I've been at work. I think it was 76. I write it down each day, and I think today is either 75 or 76. And I feel like it's just, I don't know, it's going to be like half a year by the time I get back. My mum's like, oh, just think that when you return you'll get to show off your tan. I'm like, but I won't. By the time I return to work, I'm probably going to be winter, and I'll be in like my jeans, my leggings and my tights and everything. I don't know, I'm very conflicted. Part of me is very, I just want this virus to be over and everything and just get back to normal, like screw it, people die. But then the other part of me is like, it is people's families that are dying and people's loved ones, and it's terrible, it's horrible. But it does happen, like every 100 years there's a big pandemic. Like, it must just be something in the world, like every 100 years they're like, right, pandemic time. Also, I think it's very suspicious. I still think something is wrong. Like, I still think some of the conspiracies could be true. And like, this was an organised virus released from a lab or something. Like, I don't know. I think there's something else going on there. But I'm going to shut up because I've probably talked way too long. Made quite a few people probably annoyed at me, or disliking me, or think that my opinions are wrong, which is fine. But to be fair, it could just be that I've been locked up for so long now that I'm just fed up. Right, so thank you for coming, Vicky. It was really nice to speak to you again. You're welcome to go now. I'm just going to say something at the end of this video before I close off the video. But yes, thank you for coming, Vicky. Right, so those opinions and views and the information that I've used throughout this video are from, the information has been what's developed my views, and the information is from stuff that I've read off the internet or I've heard in the daily conferences. So you've got to remember that some of the information I mention in this video, or the stuff that has helped me develop my opinions, may be completely and utterly bullpoopy because of the fact that it's from the internet, and you can't trust everything that's on the internet, but it's just from what I've heard and what I've been experiencing is what's made me develop these opinions. So you can't, if someone wants to hate me, fair enough, but remember, you can't really hate someone for having an opinion, because there's no such thing as a right or wrong opinion, because it's your own personal belief. You can't say to someone, oh look, I've got a belief that unicorns are real. Well, technically, if you want to think about it, the stories had to come from somewhere, and to be fair, a rhino is just a fact. It's got a horn. It could have been evolved from a unicorn from like 20 million years ago or whatever. You can't do that about someone's opinion. And as you said, if someone's opinion is based on information they've read online, and they can't say if it's correct or not, they could be completely wrong. But that's from what information they've read, that's what they've learned. So that they may have been falsely guided. So don't be rude to people, and like I said, I've had so many different opinions I've experienced in the past few days from like my town. Have all got different opinions. Some people are like, oh yeah, we should just give up now and go out, and other people are like, no, we should stay in, and yet they then leave the house the next day and go for a trip to the park with the family, and they've just said, no, we should stay in. Like, people's opinions and views throughout of this virus are changing every day. Partly I think because we're so confused to what the government is saying, and the other part I think is just because one day you just can't be bothered, but then the next day you take it more seriously, because everyone's been locked up for 11 weeks now. Their opinions, their moods and their opinions, you're going to be changing so quickly, because you can't get any other information to help you develop your views better, apart from what the government, what the news, what the false fake media are shoving in your faces. So just remember that before you become a keyboard warrior or whatever. So that's everything I want to say. I'm not going to be doing vlogs every day now, like weekly vlogs. I'm just going to record stuff as and when I feel like it. But yeah, it was fun making this video. It's been 11 weeks. It's going to be a lot more, I think, for me. And now it's time for the cat to make her announcement. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, if you got this far. Remember to spread kindness, not the virus, and support those that have been affected with this virus. But yeah, thank you, and stay safe, everyone. Bye!